G'day there guys, as always I hope your day is going really well. It's your main man Markee and welcome back to another episode of r/AmiTheA. Now if you love today's bloody good content, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and get ready for some more episode content cool stuff. Let's go. Posted by user Daughter Dropout THR. Titled, Am I the a-hole for supporting my daughter's decision to drop out of college after she got engaged? So my daughter, 22 female, recently announced her engagement to her boyfriend, 26 male, of 3 years. Not long after that, she called my wife and I to tell us she's dropping out of college. She basically told us that she wasn't too happy with her major, which to be honest, I can believe. She never came across as very enthusiastic about her studies like my other daughter, 25 female, was. Her new fiancé comes from quite a well-to-do family. His dad basically owns a semi-regional chain of DIY stores, and he's worked in various management positions since he's graduated and is in line to inherit the company. My daughter and Tim have decided that since basically he has 100% job security and she wasn't too happy doing what she was doing, that it would be better for her to drop out and either get a position at the company or just stay at home. They haven't decided yet. I am fine with this. My wife not so much. She always wanted both of our daughters to be career-minded in life like she's been. She also doesn't like the fact that we have financially supported our daughter through her time in college, and she's not getting a degree now. My daughter basically told my wife that she's an adult woman now and has made her decision whether my wife likes it or not. I backed my daughter up. I told my wife she can't expect her to just be a mini-me, and the whole point of us helping her out financially was so she could be happy in life, which she had decided means taking a more traditional path. My wife is still ticked off a few days later, but I'm still standing up for her. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. Basically, my way of dealing with the news has been to just respect my daughter's wishes because she's an adult and believes this will make her happier. My wife, on the other hand, thinks she's making a huge mistake dropping and is throwing away a lot of what she's worked for and we have supported her through, and is hurting herself in the long term. I just want to know if it's me or my wife who is responding to the news of her dropping out in the right way. I think you're responding to this one in the right way, and not your wife. She does have good intentions in the sense that she wants her daughter to succeed and be stable in life, but where that goes awry is when she places the expectation that your daughter will finish a college degree and pursue a career path. That's controlling and unacceptable behavior to demand an adult woman do that, and then punish her when she decides not to. You're doing a good job supporting your daughter, OP. I'm proud you're able to be a voice of reason for her. I can't imagine she's taking that hit from her mother all too well, since I imagine she's someone that I would assume your daughter looked up to. Good job with this one, not the a-hole. Now in the comments, Ashes B77 says, No a-holes here. This is tough. Both sides are right. No future is ever safe. Companies go under all the time. Divorce happens. Your daughter is 22. How far away is she from finishing? If she doesn't have to work, maybe she could just slow down and finish at her own pace. I think she's likely come so far that it would be silly to stop so close, but you can't make her, and she is an adult. You aren't wrong either to not let this be a blow-up, because ultimately, you can't undo her decision. I agree with this. She needs to have a backup plan in case the marriage goes south. You know, like half of them do, or he becomes disabled. Exactly. I've seen stuff like this happen before. Marry into a wealthy family without a backup plan. Here's what happens if they get divorced. She doesn't control the money, he does because it's the family biz. Guess who has money for expensive lawyers and can bury the other side in court cases, leaving them with nothing? No a-holes here. You're right that it's your daughter's decision. Neither you or your wife are a-holes based on your opinions. However, I think that your way of looking at things is short-sighted, because marriages end and even great businesses can go belly up. Then what? She'll be unemployed and without a degree. Granted that she can always get some job, but probably not a job where she can support a lifestyle she'll become accustomed to. Just something for you guys to consider. I think it would be better for OP to frame it as, what if you decide that you want to work down the line, rather than framing it as an issue of divorce and business failing? Or, since she's thinking about getting a job at the business, what does she have in mind? Could she switch majors to something that's going to help with that plan? Like business or marketing or accounting? Even if they'll give her a job just based on who she married, she'll have a better job of having it be fulfilling long-term if she gives it some thought and gets some skills. And Danny Girl XO says, "You're the a-hole. You should teach your daughters to not rely on a man. She should be able to support herself and be independent. What if they divorce in the future and she has nothing? No job history, no degree?" And OP replies, "This isn't something I'm too worried about. Even if the marriage does go south, she gets half his stuff and probably alimony. And from what I can tell, she has a great relationship with this young man. I'd say the odds of it working out are looking good." Look at actual alimony rulings recently. They're not that high or common. They usually have an end date, like a few years. And half of what? His dad currently has a lot. Is the house going to be in the husband's name or the parent's name? Are they even going to have a house? And if you think a well-to-do family won't make her sign a prenup, you are sadly mistaken. And now on to the update. Just wanted to give a quick update. I had to think about what some of you commented about her not having a backup plan. I decided maybe it would be best to let my wife have a sit down with my daughter and her fiancé to explain her concerns. Don't worry, it was over Zoom. After discussing it the day after I made my original post, the following agreements were made. 1. Her fiancé has some shares in the company that his dad gifted him after he graduated. He will give 30% of these shares to her. 2. He will get life insurance, and my daughter will obviously be the beneficiary along with any kids they have. 3. He will give my daughter a job in the company so that she can at least have some work experience and transferable skills. She has promised to work for at least 5 years, or until the birth of her first kid. Whatever comes sooner. After that, it's her call. And 4, like many of you suspected in the comments, his dad does want him to get a prenup. He's agreed that my daughter will get the savings account and be allowed to keep her aforementioned shares from point 1. This young man was surprisingly cool and understanding of my wife's worries, and I'm even more confident in him than I was before. My wife is still disappointed she's not pursuing a career, but she has some peace of mind now and gives my daughter her support. I admit that I was guilty of making this worse by not communicating with my wife enough and being overly dismissive of her concerns. I'm glad that I posted it here. And in the comments, Obitadicta says, "Glad that you had some sober second thoughts on this one. Make sure your daughter has her own independent lawyer to represent her in the prenup discussions, as well as taking care of her credit score, and to add a clause that voids the prenup after a given amount of years and/or he cheats." But to be honest, it is still not enough. If the company goes bankrupt, she will have nothing. Neither of them will have anything. Just because she has work experience won't mean that she'll be able to get a job. Many places of employment have strict rules when it comes to hiring. If you don't have a degree, they can't hire you. So a job gotten through nepotism won't help her much in the case of divorce, bankruptcy, and death. She will only be able to provide for her children through a minimum wage job in those cases. My mom was in a similar situation. She worked for the family business until she had a kid. My dad had his own business that supported us. Then the business got bad after 9/11. My parents got divorced, her mom died, and her dad refused to support us. I am determined now to never make those same mistakes. It pains me to see you misguidedly support your daughter's idiotic life plans. If your daughter didn't like her degree, she can try another or go to college. College can actually lead to well-paying careers. Even university graduates go back and do college diplomas to enhance their career. If she was a son, would you say this was a good idea? Similar story, and the short version is my parents insisted their daughter have an education so they could support themselves if they had to or wanted to. All of us girls have had successful careers and also been stay-at-home mums for a while. But having the education is what kept us, or allowed us to return to, in the game. My dad said, if anything happens, husband dies or just takes off, at least you can still provide for your family. If this sub has taught anything to me, it's that women should never solely rely on a partner to provide. OP, seriously, just make your daughter subscribe to this forum for a month. Hopefully that will cure her. Our next post is by user Trash4230, titled, Am I the a-hole for making my father kick out my sister-in-law and brother? So I, 30 female, am currently in a leading position of a restaurant franchise started by me and my father. We live in an Islamic country, so me being one of the owners is very rare. I have 3 siblings, 1 brother, 29 male, and 2 sisters, twins, 13 female. The business started by me, my father, and his friend's son became extremely successful. My brother was never interested in it, but after it grew, my father provided him a position in IT department. He did his degree in software engineering. And apart from that, because we were not that well off, my father also provides every family member with a set of allowances separate from our salaries. My brother got married a year ago, and his wife also receives it. My father now plans to retire, and my sister-in-law thinks it's now my brother's turn to be the man of the house. She's been making a lot of remarks lately. We all live together, and in any normal situation, this would have been the case, but I own the business too, and have been the one putting in most of the work. I ignored her in the beginning. My mum has been asking to think about marriage as well, and as she was talking to me, my sister-in-law told me that I really should, since my father will retire and my brother will be the one in charge. So I told her these are all her delusions, since after my father, it is me who is the candidate. These are my father's wishes as well, and I already own part of the business. Upon hearing this, she became quiet, but has been making my mum turn against me. My mum was always against me working, but because of my father, she couldn't do anything. 3 days ago, my father announced that he was retiring and has decided to let me take the lead now. He acknowledged my hard work and said that I was most suited. My sister-in-law and my mother both opposed it very, very strongly. According to them, it's the birthright of my brother, the only son, to take the business. My father shut it down, but then my sister-in-law, in the moment, pointed at me and told me I was a thief and I will burn in hell, and said a lot of things. My father then told both my brother and sister to get out of his house, and if they don't leave now, my brother can say goodbye to his job and his allowance too. They left, but I've been getting messages from relatives and even my own mother about how greedy I am and for stealing something that belongs to my brother. I was very convinced in the beginning, but now actually hearing these things and knowing my religion, I think what they're saying is true and wanted the judgment of the internet strangers to finally decide something. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? We love a family perpetuating misogyny in this day and age. Isn't that just wonderful? Yeah, OP can't run the business because, she was born female and the brother deserves it and is entitled to it because he was born male. Very sound logic and very reasonable argument put up between those two women. I'm sure they're great at parties. And I'm honestly shocked the father didn't shut this down further. I'm not blaming him for it, like obviously he was avoiding the drama for as long as he could. I get that. But now, this has snowballed into this sister-in-law being thrown into a fit of rage and condemning OP for not stepping down for the business that she has a large chunk of stock in and built up how long ago? For how long now? What kind of delusional whack job psycho just gets to go off like that and not have any repercussions for doing so? Seriously, cut her off that allowance ASAP if you can, OP. Like, convince your father to cut that crap out, cut her allowance off. And absolutely cut contact with that disgusting filth that excuses itself as a person. Why do these systems of oppression still continue into this day and age? I don't know the answer. Not the a-hole. Shame on them. Now in the comments, Mrs. Schmenkman says, not the a-hole. The attitudes of the people against you are sexist and ridiculous. The only reason they support your brother over you is because he has a penis, and that's it. You've done nothing wrong and have nothing to feel guilty about. Also, your father is amazing. Love him. Not the a-hole. You have every right to lead the store. Your sister-in-law is a cruel person and will certainly have a seat saved for her in hell. You will not be joining her. You are a successful businesswoman who runs her own restaurant as a reward for your skill, hard work, and involvement in the business. Your brother has zero claim over the store whatsoever. Birthright is an arbitrary and outdated means of determining who inherits what. Rightfulness and deserving are what should dictate what is earned and given, and you have earned the right to run the business. Your brother has contributed comparatively nothing. Your mother is cruel for not taking your side. She is stuck in her old ways and should defer to the more modern and wise stance of your father. And now on to the update. So I posted to ask my judgment almost 6 months ago. At the time of writing that post, I was very emotional, and it really hurt to see my mother picking a side against me. So after a week, my brother contacted me, and he apologized for his wife's behavior. He said he didn't have the guts to tell his wife he actually doesn't want anything to do with the business. He said that he was always content with what he had and knew from the start that it should be me. He actually saw the post, and we talked a lot, and before his marriage, we actually used to be really close, and how he wants that same relationship back. I was happy to hear that. He's my only brother, and I love him to death, but I did warn him about his wife. He just said that he's considering everything right now, and this whole incident has opened his eyes. I talked to my mum after that, and she admitted that she just wants me to get married. She always wished that for me, but I was able to make her realize that this is what actually I want to do with my life. So she's not been able to fully accept it yet, but she's getting there. As for my father, after that whole thing, he's already put everything in place and actually wanted me to take the position in front of him so that no one can contest it. I'm in a better place than I had been when I was writing my post. Thank you, Reddit, for making me realize my importance. Thank you, everyone who reached out. I cannot thank you guys enough. And in the comments, Radiant Thola too says, I'm glad now that things are more calm, but you should be ready to fight in the future. Your father is supporting you now, but without him, the situation will be a lot more hard. You deserve to be in charge. You created the business. Never think otherwise and don't let others control your life. Do the best for you because you're a strong woman. Probably it's not the comment you expect, but don't trust family, accept your father. Take care of yourself first. And am I the only one who is just so proud of OP's dad? Like, what a G. Especially since not only is he standing up to family in this moment, but he stood against what seemed to be many aspects of his culture and traditions from the beginning of going into business with and encouraging his daughter in this way. He was like, my baby can do whatever she wants and I am going to help her and just reinforce her every way I can. And it's not even like he's just a crazy optimist, because saying he wants to transition her in front of him shows that he is shrewd and refuses to take chances on her being the boss. This guy is awesome. Go dad. He is, but I'm also worried about what will happen when he's not alive. Her mother is still thinking she doesn't deserve it, and let's be honest, her brother is not going to get divorced. He isn't brave enough to say something different to his wife. The fight is not over. She needs to be strong and take care of her only. Alright guys, I think that's where I'm going to end today's video. If you need a good laugh, please do check out my second channel, Markee 2, links down in the description below, or it's going to appear somewhere on the screen here at the end, little bubble with my face on it. As always, a big shout out to my Patreon and channel members. Your faces are surrounding me right now, and I love to have you guys with me, and down in the comment sections of each and every video, and just knowing that you're always there to support me. It's a humbling and lovely feeling. And rest assured, I do see you, and I do notice your support, and I thank you every day for being here and helping me along this journey. Not much else to say besides that, guys. Thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. I do hope that you have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to. I will see you in the next video, and thank you again. Bye.